Then should I give thanks and the highest praise. Ground myself to Mama Earth, connect out the space.
Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back. Caught me on a little bit on the hop. We've been racing around the countryside, but we got back in time. I'm a little bit, blushing today, but that is hot lights in the studio. Man, what a flipping hot day. We have been away for a couple of weeks, actually, so thank you so much to Kent Spong for broadcasting what seems to be every single day in our absence, and for picking up from where we left off. So Kent Spong, can you tell me what's wrong? Is an absolute genius, and thank you for that. So please go follow his channel, which just kind of runs and runs and runs. It's like an evening down the pub. We had great weather. More about that in a little while. Thumbs up in the chat if you can hear me. No one's saying they can't, so I'm assuming I've hit all the right buttons. But yeah, it was fabulous. But whilst we were away, as is with most of these things, I remember the last time we went away about 3 years ago, there was an absolute heat wave in the UK whilst we were away then, and that time I think we went to Spain and it rained. Anyway, first world problems, right? Really fantastic to be back. Thank you for joining me 2 weeks ago with Mark Gardner, who was doing his absolute level best not to swear, and he did an amazing job. It was just incredible, and lovely to catch up with him, which is great. Took the Easter off because I just thought that was going to stretch the hotel Wi-Fi a little bit too much, and now we're back with you with amazing guests. Actually, they've been on Jamie's show. If you've popped over from Jamie's show, thank you so much for joining us. He's been very cool in allowing us to kind of trail our show to come on YouTube after his, and also he was a guest 3 weeks ago, so check that out. That was really interesting to see Jamie Morden's jamming skills. They are on a par with his sound patch generating. He sells sound pack generation stuff. They are on a par with his skills at making sound, so they're absolutely incredible, insanely good. A quick hello to loads of people already in the chat, which is just phenomenal. Thank you. Grace Griffin is first in, saying she's on a train. Oh, okay, cool. So she will be on a train. She was here to Grace Griffin has also been on this show. Amazing live sound engineer. She's doing Young Voices these next 3 weeks, which is a massive choir for all the schools across the UK. And Loullamae, my daughter's actually going to do this, I think week after next or something. But she said she's got 170 mic-ins and 30 mixes configured on this board that she's running, and I think she usually runs the on-stage sound rather than the live sound going out via TV, so I'm not sure what she's doing this time, but basically then they're wheeling on and off loads of different choirs, and so she's got literally 170 mic-ins into this thing, so goodness only knows. Thank you for being there, Grace Griffin. Good luck over the next few days. Lady Aptitude, hello to you. Homegrown, I think a new person in the chat, maybe not. Thank you for joining. Morgan Juniper, hey. Sasquatch, hey. All the usual crew, absolutely wonderful to see you all. The horn should be working. I have a test button. Yeah. That's working. We raise money for Great Ormond Street Hospital, Loullamae's favourite charity, when we do her quiz. So any super chats, anything like that, get fired straight off to Great Ormond Street. So if you feel like donating £2 or £3 or $2 or $3 to Great Ormond Street, it's a wonderful cause. Last week, if I can find the right notes, or rather the week before last, let me just see what's happening here, if I can get there. Hold on. We raised £200 on the 3rd, which was the stream before our holiday stream, and £115 from being on holiday with Mark, which is brilliant, which brought our total to £3,409, which is just absolutely brilliant. So thank you to everybody. There's a thank you video that I'll run shortly. But if you do feel like donating, send us a super chat or something like that later in the show, and everything will be groovy. It all goes to Great Ormond Street. Maybe we'll make £3,500. Who knows? Right, our guests. I'm a fanboy of our guests. They've already been on Jamie's show, I think I mentioned earlier. I came across them, as with most of these things, through Inky, who is a moderator in the chat, Inky the Cat. She will keep everything organised, so be nice to her. But I'm pretty sure she pointed me at a mix that they did. Kent Spong. You are a genius. You're an absolute genius, sir. Thank you.
Spong, can you tell me what's wrong?
More so than this, any excuse to run our special Kent Spong message that was so specially recorded for you. Let me just find it. £50. Thank you so much, Kent. It was absolutely brilliant of you. Give me a second. No, that's the wet owl picture. Hang on. Whoops. Stand by. That's Kent on the right, by the way. Chrissy Rock recorded this for you, Kent. Thank you so much.
Hiya, this is a message to Kent. This is Chrissy Rock here. Award-winning actress and comedian from TV Benidorm. You wouldn't think so, would you? Just got the shower, but never mind. So, I hope you're well. I'm here to ask you a big question that's on everyone's lips. Okay? Kent Spong can tell me what's wrong. Is that some sort of Da Vinci Code message? It says, good luck with your career in synthesizer repair. I hope that means that. Lots of love. Have a fabulous day. Tra, 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 tra. From Mr. Wiggly and me, Chrissy Rock. Love ya. Bye.
Kent Spong, you're a genius, sir. Thank you so much. Woo. Thank you so much. I will just take this opportunity to run the thank you banner, and then we'll come to our wonderful friends who I'm just such a fanboy of. If you give me 1 second, because so many people have donated so much money. It's absolutely brilliant. So while we're here, this is a massive thank you to all of the people that have donated so far, and we've just hit nearly £3,500. So thank you so much to you all.
Hey, step inside, I give thanks and the highest praise. Ground myself to my earth, connect out the space. Within the hallways of the heart, the mind in the state of being that I am as I vibrate. Adorate, oscillate like horse crystal, mama, man. Earth, brother, honorance, hallelujah. Namaste, our heart is divided to sun, so we'll let it shine away. Overlap and envelop each other in love and light. Yes, simultaneously synchronize this energy, symbiotic in sacred geometry. Contemplate the symmetry and this imagery as we integrate the knowledge. This wisdom, see what the symbols mean and bodies what the temple be. Where the life force energy resides in the chemistry. Bioelectric being the top and indefinitely. Receive and perceive the physical machinery. Conceived by the source, recognize that it blessed be. Rolling and I can't breathe. Conscious living never hurt me. One love, energy and sexy. Wind your line to the champion sound. Baseman move to the energy. Sunlight burning upon me. One love, set your heart free. Wind your line to the champion sound. Winding time to the champion sound.
Thank you. Richard Hilton and Kent Spong, you are two of the most wonderful gentlemen in the world. Big love to Kent and to Richard. Thank you so much for the $20, Richard. It's so much appreciated, and such an amazingly good cause to go to. This show is rapidly just turning into a great big long video saying thank you, which is no bad thing, but thank you very much indeed. A couple of messages in from Grace. I just wanted to fill that gap. The estimated that the whole tour there'll be about 150,000 singing kids, and the first show is at the O2. Around 8,000 kids in the choir tomorrow night. This is the Young Voices choir thing that I mentioned, and dear Grace is now in control of all of that, so look forward to having to listen to that. It's texture at the wrong moment. Anyway, I'm a fanboy of these guys. They are amazing. Inky pointed me at them and said, go and have a listen to this in the style of hardware jams, because they've been doing hardware jams for a while. But it's more than that. I don't know. There's something about them. We'll get more into it as we go on. But there's a very a very strong artistic bent going on here, and the music that's created just has a very, very good ebb and flow to it. It's really nicely sounding. It's got modular without the bleepy bloops, if you like. You know, there's I find some negativity to some modular when it's a bit random. It is the most organic sounding modular mix of MPCs and modular and music I think I've heard in a while. And they are the wonderful MOVEMENT81. Hello to you guys. How are you doing?
Hi.
Hello. Good. Thank you. Yeah.
Very good.
Our internet just kind of went as we started. So
apologies if we disappear. It's not because we don't like
no worries.
you, and it's not because. But fingers crossed. I have actually got my fingers crossed here.
Okay. All right. You're glitching a little bit, but I don't think it'll matter. We can hear you, so that's
okay.
cool.
Okay.
Becky and Jason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hailing from Swansea.
Yeah.
And you're in a band. Did I read something about a Doctor of Philosophy on the Facebook page?
Yeah, both of us are doctors of philosophy. Yeah.
Both Doctors of Philosophy. Okay.
Yeah. So
that must make for interesting breakfast conversation.
Yeah. Well, it did for a bit. I mean, I can tell you that for sure because we did them both at the same time.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so there was a 4 years of
intensity. Yeah.
Crikey.
Well,
Richard Hilton's going to be in Swansea this summer. That sounds like Chic will be playing over there.
Yeah,
so I heartily say if you can hook up, I'm sure they'd love to meet you.
That'd be really good.
Yeah, really good.
But yeah, so that's our background really, I think. So I've got a PhD in immersive artworks. And Becky's is in evaluating that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of looking at it from the artist's perspective. So sort of what impact creating participatory and public-facing artworks have on the artist's well-being, and then Jason's is more kind of to do with art encounters and how you experience kind of immersive works.
So yours, Becky, is about how it affects the artists themselves rather than the viewer of the art. Is that what you?
Yeah. So as the producer of the work, I guess how that is received, and sometimes when it doesn't quite go to plan, the impact of that on the artist. Yeah.
Wow. I guess that could be quite depressing.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it can be quite difficult in kind of in participatory community based,
isn't it? I guess all art is trying to produce something for people to watch and to enjoy. And very often the impact that has on them, if it works or doesn't work, is kind of neglected, and you just have to get up and do it again.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. As it's just, I think it's back to your breakfast conversation. Stop analysing me. Well, you started it.
yeah, something like that.
Well, it's a bit difficult.
It was difficult, but I mean, to be fair, we made a real effort to not talk about it.
Well, we couldn't talk about it to each other because we would have ended up writing each other's ideas. So
of course.
It was really difficult.
So can I ask how you two guys, because you're a couple, right? So how did you two guys meet?
We worked together, so we worked together in a design studio for, I can't remember how many years, a number of years. We met there and then left and set up a design studio and worked there together. And then after doing that, we went to university and did a fine art degree, fine art masters, and then the PhD. So it just kind of trundled along.
And how long ago did that finish?
The PhD.
So you sort of you're kind of. Are you going to go back into more learning, or are you going to take into the world?
That's it.
You've had enough.
We're doing a bit of making now rather than.
So it's all about making now. So nothing for the time. I mean, I think probably everyone who does something like that, after when you finish it, it's just a time to just chill out a bit and not do anything.
Totally.
Yeah.
Did you do the travelling thing before you went and did it, or have you actually just gone straight out of A levels into university into this?
Oh God, no. No, we were way older than that.
Okay.
No, I mean.
So I think we started our fine art degree in 2010, and then
Gotcha.
kind of, so we're just
Yeah.
finished now with PhDs.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So before that, we were working. We were running a design studio, but we're always interested in music and stuff like that. But we were,
Glitch.
and in a design agency,
yeah,
basically,
okay.
isn't it? And,
Yeah. Are we back?
Yeah, yes, okay, don't worry. Yeah, we got most of that. Kind of just disappeared very briefly and then
Yeah.
catches up. So is this now full-time music?
No. Yes. No. So it's really tough.
Tough question.
Oh, sorry, full-time art.
It's full-time art. Yeah, it's full-time art. It's full-time art. Or music or anything. We just kind of you cobble a living together, I guess, out of different stuff. So at the moment, we're really thankful for some Arts Council funding, which keeps us going until September for shows that we've got coming up. So that's done and paid for. We do a bit of teaching sometimes, and the rest of the time we play with the synth.
Can you still hear? Oh, we keep losing.
Yeah. No, you dropped out a couple of times. It's okay. I think we can cope. But it just goes a little bit quiet. Well, I'm not panicking. It's going to be fine.
Okay.
I think everyone's no, it's okay. Everyone's obviously watching something. Have you got some neighbours hitting the PlayStations or something?
Yeah, we share. So our studio's in like a share. Group of studios, so
Right.
we can
So
go kick 'em out now.
someone's obviously just uploading something.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how we go anyway. I don't worry too much. Question from I should say, questions in the chat are very, very welcome. I think we all feel slightly inferior to the enormous brains of the people watching. I mean, I don't think I've ever spoken to any more highly qualified people, but I could be completely wrong. In this sphere, anyway, the idea of studying the philosophy behind the art, it's crazy, really. It's just, really, really interesting. So I'm sure there'll be some questions about that coming up.
It's one of the interesting things, I think, in all of these groups, that you don't really know what people do, and there's some really interesting people. We found out some really interesting conversations with people in the chats about things, and then you leave thinking, wondering, what do they do, outside of this? Because there's some amazing conversations, actually.
Yeah, and I think like some of those things come out sometimes and something about somebody, but on the whole, kind of we're not really on Facebook, so we don't really see everybody's stories and don't get to know the personal stories in that way. So yeah, it's nice, I guess, in a way to just hear the jams every now and again.
Yes. I think you came to attention through TikTok. I think someone saw you on TikTok and said, "Come over to Hardware Jams," something like that. I think from what Inky was telling me, which is great to come over from the TikTok side. That's
so
really cool.
we were just doing stuff on TikTok. We were doing some streaming on Twitch every now and then, wasn't very regular or anything, but we were playing stuff kind of unrehearsed, and we never saved it. We never did anything with it. We were just, and then we were putting a bit of it on TikTok. And Jonathan Cross, do you want to come and join Hardware Jams? And the rest is history, I guess, is what they say.
Jonathan's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, so it was really good, because to not being on Facebook really at that, we had to join Facebook in order to get into the Hardware Jams, which we weren't on. And so we had to do that. So we weren't aware of any of these kind of communities, really. We were just making sound.
It is amazing, actually, this community. I mean, there's a core block of just wonderful people who follow the whole kind of. I mean, they happily watch this show, and the Hardware Jams guys and the Clown Fest. More, I mean, big up to Unsigned Review Live, and it has all kind of merged a little bit into this movement, right? That just works, really. And you're right, you scratch the surface, and a lot of the people I've chatted to on here are people that I've met in the chat, or have popped up, and I'll kind of just message people and find out what they're up to. And Grace is one of those, a classic example from 2-3 weeks back where, I just kind of, I can't remember why we started talking about something. She messaged me about something or other that I'd said and got talking, and it was like, you should come on, and now she's popping up on Kent's show, and it's just brilliant. It's just expanding that community.
And
so much knowledge as well, though. We learn so much stuff. Our background is not in sound engineering or kind of music production, so it's great. It's all of that stuff. We're learning all the time.
It's the positivity, isn't it? It's no good saying, well, that's rubbish. You may think it's rubbish. It doesn't matter. It's like, well, that could be better if.
Supportive.
So supportive. And I think, like you said, the merging is really interesting. I think it's happening. There's like crossover with the different groups, and I think that in itself is an amazing thing.
I don't think it'll be too long before one or two of the artists get a bit of a breakthrough, and actually maybe pull some of the others up as well. It's becoming a community, which I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of artists suddenly kind of flip up out of it. You yourselves actually being one of them, I would class you as kind of, if not on the cusp, heading that way. Certainly, the music you're doing is the right side of commercial to really lift off, but also interesting enough to be a kind of just more broad, a bit more deep. Do you know what I mean? It's quite organic. So it's certainly, from my point of view, I like listening to it. It's just an amazing kind of thing.
I mean, it's interesting that because we made a deliberate attempt to not do anything weird for a bit.
Yeah.
Because I think we've been
we've
been making noise really for quite a while.
Like that. Yeah.
David Serchek, thank you very much. Yeah, a bit like yes.
So a lot of what we've done kind of before we bought all of this equipment in front of us was based on a couple of synthesizers and kind of more visual, I guess. So works where we'd be like in a 4-foot cube made of.
So I think that was our first ever
play noise and
ever live performance was in a 4-foot cling film cube.
Of course, I would expect nothing less.
with the monotron and the K oscillator.
Yeah. So there was a real deliberate attempt to make music. We weren't making music, we were making noise really. And I think we joined, or we met some people from the Welsh Modular Alliance. So there's quite a good, nice little scene in Swansea and around here, like Carmarthen and stuff, of people using hardware. And we met them, and I think they were looking for us to be quite experimental, and we were, well, no, we've been experimental quite a lot. We want to try and mix some music. It just, it was,
that makes sense. That makes complete sense. Hold on just 1 second, Loullamae. Hold on 1 second, please. Okay, just a second. Sorry, rewind because my brain's burning up. David Serchek, thank you so much for the $9.99. And Wagyu, thank you so much for the 10 Swiss francs. I think they are. Finally, I've remembered what they are. Mrs. Wiggly's with us. And could you check the printer, please, Mrs. Wiggly? Because I think Loullamae's questions... they didn't come out in the print because I was running around like a mad thing. Welcome, Loullamae. You see, the talent doesn't come from the sound check again, so she's all off there. You need to push your button over there, the red one, please. Try that. Does that work?
Hello.
Hey, yeah, that's loud enough.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Okay. Did it come out?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. I printed the questions, but they didn't come out. Let's kill that. Thank you. We'll come back to that just after the quiz, in case anyone wondered what on earth is going on. Because I think it's really interesting the way the commercial side sits, and also how you take that further, and what your sound is. But what probably the easiest thing to do is we can do Loullamae's quiz. And we can play one of your tracks, and then we can come back and talk about it, and also some of the other guys can have a chat about the kit and get a bit geeky about the whole thing. So
sounds good.
All right, so thank you very, very much indeed, Wagyu, for that. Now, Mrs. Wiggly, would you like to say hello?
Yep.
Yeah, she
Let me
is.
just
Woohoo!
get my headphones on. Hi guys.
Hello, Mrs. Wiggly.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, good.
Good,
Thank
good.
you. Nervous. Never booked before.
That's Mrs. Wiggly Horn. Sorry, interrupted. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so people in the chat, if you're new to this is Loullamae's quiz. And we raise money for Great Ormond Street Hospital, as I've been going around for a while. Lovely people like Kent and all you wonderful people in the chat put money in occasionally, and it's just brilliant. There are right answers. There's no obvious right answers. And in the chat, you need to be searching on all chat. I always get this wrong. Inky kind of posts what you're meant to be doing, but there's a setting in the YouTube chat that shows all chat and just selected chat. So live chat selected says Paul Artella, so that one will be what you need to do. Also, we get your chat in a kind of strange order, slightly delayed sometimes, so you may think you were first, but you may not be first, but it's okay because it's just for fun. There's no prizes. Try not to bang that mic around too much, sweetheart. There's only wrong answers, says Tollington, so that's pretty much the way it is. Now, can you remember, Mrs. Wiggly, how we did? You can't remember? No, we did have a live score. Well, we'll see. There's quite a few questions. We're going to have to disqualify the wonderful Movement 81 from one of them because I told them. I told them earlier.
We're going to know the answer.
Oh, was this a private chat?
So we'll see. We'll just rely on the goodness of their hearts. Okay, so let me see if I can find the right button. But it's time for Loullamae's epic best quiz on the internet.
What 3 sports did I do this afternoon?
What 3 sports did Loullamae do this afternoon? Now, you guys may know. But if you think you're cheating, don't say anything. If you don't think you're cheating, go for it. Swimming for Sasquatch is one of them. Well done, Star.
I think they will have to get a combination of 3.
Well,
because otherwise
we've got a lot of questions. I mean, swimming's on the list, so that's cool. You know that. Swimming, horse riding, swimming, basketball, no. Skydiving, running, and cycling.
Electronic sounds.
Oh, electronic sounds,
I think
Dean.
you've got that. Cycling, swimming, and running.
You are correct, Dean. Well done. And I'm not even flipping back to the right cameras.
Okay, we're back in the game.
Good work.
We're back in the game.
Back in the game. All right. Well, actually, maybe not. Maybe you might be disqualified from this one again. But then after that, it's all gravy. All right, you ready with the next one, Loullamae?
What is that event called?
Okay, when you do those 3 sports, what is that event called? Yes, Sasquatch, well done. Sasquatch gets a point for triathlon. It is called a triathlon. Loullamae did a triathlon, which is epic in amongst itself today. They did a kids' triathlon, which was 4 lengths of the pool, which was
400 meters.
400 meters in the pool. Then they did a 1 kilometer cycle ride, and then they did a 750 meter run.
Amazing
for
effort.
A load of
Good
10
job.
years old. Yeah, so big applause in the chat, please. She did amazingly, actually.
Amazing.
A whole team. They had a whole team of 4 of them. I answered that before the question was asked. It gets yeah. Actually, that's one of the first questions we've asked where it's probably possible to just know the answer from common sense, and most of them are kind of unguessable. But yeah, David Searcher, really good, really, really good. So now you're back in the game. Now you're back in the game. Are you ready, Lily? Okay.
What was my team name?
Oh, Sparkle Horse.
It wasn't Kent's bomb. Sparkle horse? No. No, it's a good one, though.
Is it animal based?
It is, yeah.
Or
Tigers.
No, it's an imaginary animal
unicorn?
made of... It's
It's half a magic.
half a... It's a unicorn crossed with something. To make... Oh! Bang in the middle of the quiz. Andrew Brooks, out of breath, just thinking about triathlon. Pass me a towel. Thank you so much for the £10 donation. I really, really love it. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated from all of us. Pink elephants. No, it's a...
Zebra?
Should
The unicorn cross with a zebra?
Not with a zebra.
What
Not
would be a
with a
unicorn
zebra.
cross with something fast? Is it a fast animal?
No, it's a
No.
really cute...
I love it.
It's
Animal
something that Loullamae absolutely
really
adores.
loves.
Is it a dog?
But it's
Whoa.
not a doggy corn.
It's
It's a unidog. Unicog.
No,
It's a young dog.
it's not a unicorn badger.
Puppy.
It's
Yeah.
Puppy.
It's not a
puppy-corn.
puppy. It's It is indeed a puppy corn.
It was United Puppy Corn.
It was the
a cool
United.
name.
It was United Puppy Corns, but I think the United would have stretched even the cleverest of our chatters. Gianstetta got it in the chat just afterwards as well, so well done to you. Give it a point each. So this is good. Our guests have a point. This is very, very good news.
And Becky and Jason.
Very competitive.
Okay,
We've ever got a point.
that's where it counts, though. Definitely. Okay, are we ready? All right, here we go.
Well, who was in my team?
Oh, it was in your team. All right, it was a team of 4.
Okay.
So Loullamae and 3 others.
Were they your friends?
Yeah, Poppy Sasquatch
yeah.
has got one. I'll give you a little hallelujah for Sasquatch. Sasquatch knows all the friends. Poppy, 2 more. Your puppy, no. Geraldine, Tilly, no, not.
Someone got Wagyu.
Wagyu. Where did he? Where's Wagyu's? Wagyu's.
Oh, Amelia, yeah,
and Poppy.
Wagyu.
There's
more.
one missing there, Wagyu, you genius.
Begins with an E.
Begins with an E, and it's it's not Will Smith. Keep it out of your mouth.
Oh, Wagyu got Ella in
Wagyu's got it
there.
again.
Ella.
There's Wagyu.
Yeah, actually, Wagyu in that one got all of it. Poppy, Ella, and Amelia.
Where's Wagyu? I can't see him now. Oh, there he is. Wagyu, you're a genius. I mean, Wagyu kind of should get 4 points for that, but he's already at the top of the table, isn't he? Ozzy Osbourne from Richard Hilton. I wish, wouldn't that have been 8? Imagine doing a triathlon with Ozzy Osbourne and some 10-year-olds. It's just brilliant. Okay, are you ready? Don't eat the questions, Loullamae. It's very important that you do not eat the questions.
What did I eat afterwards?
Okay.
Chocolate.
An energy bar. Was it something sugary? Was it something? Oh, was something
Well,
healthy?
yeah, it was sugary, actually. There are 3 things.
Yeah, there's 3 things that.
One of them is sugary.
Okay.
2 of them are
Is one of them
sugary.
fruit?
Where's the thing?
No fruit.
No fruit. Silly me.
Where's the,
No natural sugar.
where's the
Okay,
sugary
no
thing?
natural sugar. So a chocolate bar.
Not
No.
quite a bar,
I
no.
like chocolate.
Chocolate egg.
No.
So is it a fruity sweet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
is it-
sorry about that. Pizza, says Richard Hilton. Donuts, says Martin Taylor. No, that's something really...
Skittles.
No,
chewing.
no.
This is going to be a really hard one to get
Well,
out.
not the cooked
sweet
one.
one.
You can buy them. Yeah, you can buy them.
Yeah.
They rhyme with...
Oh, what was it? That Mr. Penguin or something from last time? What was that?
It's the penguin.
No. What was the chocolate from last time? There was a sweet from last time. What was it? It was,
Penguin,
it was
I
in
love
your
it.
pocket.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
That was a groovy biscuit, but Mr. Penguin
yeah.
is a much better name for a biscuit. Okay, there were 3 things.
Okay.
One was...
One was like a dinner.
yeah.
Can I give a clue for
Yeah,
the sweet
please
one?
do. Give a sweet one.
It's
Go for it.
green.
Okay.
Oh, that one. They'll never get that
They'll
one.
never get that one,
But
Puppet.
yeah, but it's worth a try. You can even hold it up and put your hand over them. This is one of them.
Let's have a look. Oh, is it like a frube? No. What is that? Oh, that looks interesting.
Yeah, you need to get it in focus a little bit. Hang on. There you go.
That's edible, is it?
Apparently, I
Yeah.
tried it. It doesn't. Yeah. Only
Well, I've never even seen one of them.
you can have some.
Hair gels.
All right, let's rewind because some people might have got this. But okay, so let's go with the first one. It has a sausage in it. A long sausage.
And an animal. Sounds like an animal.
It's not shampoo, Kent
It has a
Sprong.
sausage.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a dinner. This is like
Sausage.
We bought it from a van.
so.
hot dog.
Yeah!
No, Sasquatch got it before.
Did Sasquatch got it before Steve Powell? No, well, no, you guys.
Me?
Oh, yeah, Sasquatch. But you in at the same time as you guys though,
yeah.
so that's cool. So in fact, Sasquatch. Cool. There's another point in there for you. So that's that one.
Sorry, did Becky and Jason get one?
Yeah. They get a point for that.
Right,
I'll give you the second one, which was not that. What was it? You want to tell everyone? Not that. The other thing. The rhymes with cookie.
A cookie.
Oh, you said it.
It was a cookie. Yeah. But does anyone know what this green thing is? I've never seen this before. Do you want to hold it up in focus again?
No.
No idea.
What is that?
Right, you can see the name if you want to.
Yeah. Anyone in the chat ever seen one of those? It's shampoo. Oh, that's where the shampoo came from. It's not. It's what's it called? They'll never get it, will they?
It's a ooze tube.
It's an ooze tube,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and it's.
What an ooze tube is.
Oh, hang on. Get Gethsemane music. It's an
When
ooze
did
tube.
you do that?
Just now.
Oh,
No,
With
Morgan,
fruit.
jump up.
Wait a minute.
Rhymes.
Wait a minute.
wait a minute.
They just done it as soon as I said ooze tube.
7:44. They're all at 07. Yeah.
Did anyone actually say ooze tube before me? I don't know. I was just thinking if Gethsemane said it, it might have been big in
No,
the
and
States.
also I think that Loullamae was holding it in a way that you can see.
Wow,
what it
full
said.
marks for them
So
if they
I
got that.
don't think I'm not going to give them a point. Sorry.
Oh, waving the wand or whatever.
No,
Waving the
that's,
stick.
That's cheating. No.
Also,
Oh, Wagyu said
it.
ooze tube ages ago because he could read it. Okay. I did because Loullamae showed it. Oh, they're so honest in this. This is brilliant. I think Synth Addict is actually right, though, with toxic waste. I think
Yeah.
that's a good description.
Toxic waste.
All right, how are we doing? We've got a couple more. All right, ready for the next one? You'll need... where did I left it here for you. Hang on a second. Stand by, everybody. I'll put it there.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go.
What's in my hand?
Ooze tube.
No, not quite.
The other hand.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
A sweet.
No. A
Oh.
puppy? No. Jelly beans? No. Good guess, Thorsten. Good to see you. A stone? No.
Medal.
Fingertips? Technically
A
correct.
medal.
No. Should have been that actually, shouldn't it? A nurly? A
Wait,
sugar
yeah.
cube? Well, actually, look, we do have
A head
that's
from
cool,
the
isn't it?
oh, well done.
Yeah.
a medal. Oh.
Good job.
That's cool, isn't it? I've got very long arms. Are you keeping an eye on the chat there?
Yeah, nothing yet.
Mrs. Wiggly. A bee, a piece of Lego, 50p, a puppy badge, a pin.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, it is a tough one. It involves animals, I guess. A button, a tiny ball, fingernails.
Animal food.
Oh! Yes, you get half a point for that.
What type of animal?
No.
You are so close.
Is it a dog biscuit? Is it animal?
It's so close to that, but it's not a dog.
Oh, Matt Evans has got it. Matt Evans got it.
Well, and Matt.
Cat food.
It's a cat biscuit. I think it's a doggy treat, a cat treat, isn't it? Do you want to show the world?
Oh, it fell down my sleeve.
It fell down your sleeve.
Fell down somewhere to my sleeve.
Honest, we've got it here. All right. Well, you'll have to trust us. Oh, there you go. All right. Let's have a bit of focus. There you go.
That's where it went. It went up my sleeve over the top of my chest.
I can't believe you're still drinking that stuff.
Don't get those mixed up.
Ooh.
Yeah, I would stop now, Loullamae, because you're going to go to bed soon. I don't want you hyper.
No chance. No chance. All right, should we do one more? We got either of the last two, and I'll just find a jokey one. Then we've got Loullamae's big question, which will take us nicely into something kind of cool and fruity. Which one of the last two would you like? Well, you can choose. Okay, stand by, world. Here we go. Let's do this.
What is the best tree?
Oh.
Best tree. Christmas tree.
That's a good answer. Not
It's
on the.
kind of.
You probably would have been if you thought of it.
So,
A family tree. I like that Sasquatch, but no.
Nice.
This is Loullamae's best tree.
okay.
Apple tree.
No.
Sycamore.
Sentient.
Oh,
Amazing.
That's a good tree.
All right. Can you see that, Loullamae? This one. All right. One last one on the main quiz. All right. Just read the first line. It was a little bit last minute, so I found this one. So technically it's a daddy question, I guess. My mouse has given up. Here we go. All right, last of the big quizzes. This may be obvious, but we shall see. Here we go.
What word starts with an E and ends in an E, but only has one
letter in it?
All right, you're keeping track of this one then, are you?
Yep. You can try it, Mrs. Wiggly. What word starts with an E and ends with an E, but only has one letter in it?
I.
So it's not I, because that's got 3 letters in it. Oh, E. E only has 1 letter. Is this some kind of riddle?
It is. Oh, Matt Evans. Well done, sir. It's an envelope because it's got E at the front and E at the, and you put 1 letter in it to send it in the post, you see.
Oh, it's a trick question.
Yeah. Well, that was worth it, wasn't it? Boom. I'm here all week. Well, I didn't think Matt Evans would be that quick, to be fair. Who? Okay, it was an envelope, everybody, because it has an E at the front, an E at the end, and you put a letter in it. So it's only got 1 letter. Okay, we have Loullamae's big question, which is kind of a serious question for you guys. There are 2. Can you pop on your camera for a second, or I can move it so it kind of covers you. There you go. Looks much better like that. Okie dokie. So this one, this is a more serious question, and then we'll play some tunes and talk music, and Loullamae will go and get hyper after her green jello shots. All right, so back in the real world.
What's your favourite art piece you've done?
Oh, that is a good question. Well, I don't know.
I would say it was so these might be different,
might
actually.
Be different answers.
I would say my favourite is a piece called Viscosity Texture that we did in 2016, I think.
I think I would agree with that.
Yeah.
For its scale. So what we did is in the gallery space, we lowered the ceiling so that when you went in, it was only kind of 8 foot tall instead of kind of this big cavernous space. And we hung shapes kind of from that fake ceiling with lights in them. And then over the course of the show, those shapes would move outwards, and the sounds that the space kind of made got more and more chaotic. So I think that's probably...
I would think that is probably...
Oh, awesome. That sounds...
I think so, yeah.
There you go. That's brilliant. I think
that was
good question.
That was a hard question.
There's a follow-up as well, so I don't know if that might be the same. Just going to say, I think we've probably robbed him of a quiz answer there, so we will go back and check the video footage to make sure you get your prize. But yes, there is a follow-up, which is in lieu of Mrs. Wiggly's question, so here we go.
What was the funnest to make?
Well, it wasn't that one, that's for sure.
That was very stressful.
That was hard to make.
Funnest to make. I think probably the cube that we talked about earlier was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
And it was when we were first starting out, so I think there was less pressure to do stuff, and it was a little bit more enjoyable. So we basically wrapped up a 4-foot framework of a wooden frame with cling film and played synthesizers inside it. So that was fun, I think.
I got a different funnest. Okay. My funnest is where we wore kind of expanding foam heads and hands. So there might be an image of us somewhere, I think. So we've got these big kind of spheres of foam on our heads.
And on our hands.
And we were going to play the synthesizer.
We played live.
But we didn't realise.
We played live. And
we couldn't hear anything.
Oh, man.
And we couldn't move our hands properly.
Just never even considered the fact that expanding foam is really insulates sound loads, isn't it? So we put the heads on to play live.
But we were in a cupboard. We were in a cupboard as well, in an old casino.
Of course you were. Of course you were. That's incredible.
But you couldn't hear anything. It was ridiculous.
I'd love to see that though. Is it still available somewhere?
Might be a clip of it somewhere.
Clips. There's not really any footage of it, but there are the odd clip going around on Instagram and stuff.
So halfway through that, we were working with some fashion designers as well, and halfway through, when the music got kind of really energetic, they got up from where they were in front of us and sprayed silly string over everybody.
Yeah, and they were like, it was
quite fun.
So that was fun, actually. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah. There's a video of ABC before they were famous. I don't even know if it even came out. I was lucky enough to see it. We were working with the director, and it's them playing enormous like drums with huge foam sticks. So they look like little people. And just what you were saying just reminded me of it a little bit, because it looked amazing. It was really colourful and very simplistic. But it's just like having.
I think that was the thing with that. Yeah, it looked amazing. It was an absolute
nightmare to do.
It was great fun. It was great fun.
Sounds
and it looked amazing, but it was it was difficult.
It gives people an idea of just how across the board artistic this whole thing is. It's not two guys doing jams on hardware jams. This is a complete experience, which is amazing, which is really amazing. So I think what we'll do is we'll fire off XY. which is something you did at the end of last year, which is on YouTube, just so that the guys can have a listen to it whilst we kind of clear the decks up here, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Love to get any questions in the chat. Would be really, really cool if you can kind of at me. That would be great. It makes it easier to spot because Mrs. Wiggly's going to have her hands full after all that sugar, I think. So I should be keeping an eye on the chat.
Wish me luck.
But so thank you, Loullamae. Big up, Loullamae and Mrs. Wiggly.
Thank you. Nice to meet you guys. Bye, chat.
Nice to meet you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Right, let's get. No, I've taken the headphones off. Oh my goodness, the sugar's kicked in. Stop.
Okay. All right. Bye then, girls.
For ooze tubes, wasn't it?
That was a great advert for ooze tubes. Right, let me see if I can make this work. Let's see. Can you hear that? If not, see it.
Yes.
So, okay. Whoa. Fab. Absolutely brilliant. Sorry, I've got you muted. I was just lost there for a moment. Incredible.
Thanks for all the...
What a great thing. I'll run a tiny little bit of this just to give you an idea of what you look like when you're doing Twitch streams and live streams. Because this is kind of where I first kind of came across you. And I'm thinking, what's going on? You know, modulars there. There's an NPC on the left.
Yeah.
It looks great. You can kind of see just enough to go, whoa, that looks interesting. And then you kind of, well, how does it work then? What's going on?
Oh, I forgot. I had the mixer pan to the left on the bass. Because I got headphones on, I can hear it now.
Oh, yeah. You've got the bass coming out the left.
Completely unintentional.
Yeah. Someone in Hardware Jams let us know that.
Yeah. Most of this stuff, though, is like, we do it, and it's normally on a Sunday night, isn't it? So it's like one take, 2 takes if we really mess up the first take. Like all of the bits and pieces are kind of there, but we don't really know how it's going to work until we do it. You know, so it's get it done, get it out quickly.
Let's turn it down a bit. We can probably hear each other better over there. There you go.
Yeah, I think it's really great because, you know, a lot of the time when we're
Oops, you glitched out very briefly there for the first time in ages. Do you want to just say that again? You were saying it's really great because
stuff we're doing longer to turn them into something kind of immersive. But this is completely different. So this is really quickly and to get something done.
Well, and to record stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, before Hardware Jams, really, we weren't recording anything. We were just playing live.
Yeah.
Jamming, doing stuff places, and that was it. There was no recording of anything.
what I find is interesting because I've been and done a couple of hardware jams and kind of entered, but I've never really gone off and just jammed live on stream. And I didn't really understand it until I was chatting to some of the live jammers, and they were saying, I was saying, well, I kind of choreograph everything so carefully if I'm doing something. It's like a production. So the idea of just sitting there and jamming around is like, I don't know if anyone would really like that.
Yeah.
And then they're saying, as you do it, you just discover stuff. It's the perfect kind of 5 minutes in the middle or something every now and then or whatever. It's the wrong way to think about it. People aren't watching to watch something perfect for 15 minutes. They're actually watching to see how things evolve, and it's
a process.
And I think we're probably not the best at that either. I think we are so used to finishing artworks and putting them out when they're ready that I think there's still a bit of resistance. It's getting better for us, I think, but there's still a little bit of resistance with people, like you say, watching your process is quite I won't say uncomfortable, but it's a bit weird sometimes. You think watching you make mistakes, and it's
it feels really awkward.
It feels really awkward.
I guess that some of the performances that we've done as fine artists, which are more sort of endurance based and making a noise and wanting people to feel like that is not a nice sound. I don't know what I'm listening to. I don't like it. But that's kind of the aim sometimes. But then when you're trying to make it sound good, it's us then that feel uncomfortable. So kind of the boots on the other foot, really, and we feel like, okay, we're the ones being watched this time, the other way around. So it's interesting.
And I think that often as well, you'll do something live like that, and then when we've done it, we've had to try and play the track again and trying to do it as you did it. In that one jam, and you think, well, let's do it like that again because that was really good, and it's just never
it's not the same, is it? No, absolutely. I'm going to do it. I've set up a kind of dub station thing that because I'd like to do kind of more laid back ambient, kind of trippy stuff, I think, and just to see what happens. Really, I think I can get away with that whilst I'm kind of learning it a little bit. Synth Addict, thank you so much. I have a backlog of questions, and Synthetics just reminded me about one of them, which is great. Thank you very much for the $5. Great guest. Did they explain where the band name came from? Also, is modular recent for them or used for many years? Love their output. Okay, so the question about the album, the name of the bands, Sasquatch said, was it named after a New Order album? And and there's a few people. Rabid Bat was asking about. That's a different one. But yeah, so it's a New Order album. And 81 was that the year it was released, or
it was the year it was released? Yeah. So favorite album, really, or one of the favorite albums. But we were in a really weird position with having to choose a name, which was a bit strange because we don't. So as artists, we are performers, Jason and Becky.
Right. Thank you. Just sorry, I'm on the questions thing. Have you preempted? Jim Glues, thank you very, very, very much. Nearly payday. Well, keep your money, sir. Honestly, thank you. I think we'll smash the 3,500, which is brilliant. Just stunning, really, because we didn't start this at the very beginning of all the streams, so this is really over about 30 streams, I think. So phenomenal. Thank you so much, Jim. Much appreciated, even if it does take my head off every time it comes in. Do you remember that video, the Talking Heads Once in a Lifetime, where at the beginning he's just doing that?
Yeah.
And you may find yourself. That's how I feel with that thing going. So that's your favourite album.
So yeah, one of my favourite albums, and we were performing artworks really as Jason and Becky, and we played a couple of music gigs, and people came. Well, we thought people were coming to watch us perform as fine artists, and we were playing music, and it got a bit weird.
Yeah, it was very different.
It felt a bit strange that people were coming to watch us for something that they weren't getting, and so we decided that we should really do more music-based stuff under a different name, just to avoid confusion with what we were going to do.
That makes sense.
It's really awkward kind of decision though, because a lot of, kind of nearly all of the time, I guess, our work is related to categorization, and that's what it's about. Like the XY video is to do with categorization and trying to fight the kind of human tendencies to want to categorize everything all of the time. So yeah, a lot of what we make, I guess, as artists, we try not to categorize ourselves, and we try to do something that people aren't expecting.
Keep changing. Keep changing.
That's interesting.
So we haven't been doing the music long enough to see whether we change or not yet. I don't know whether that will happen.
I feel comfortable categorizing stuff. I think that's just the general human trait.
I think everyone
does.
It? Yeah, absolutely, everyone does. But it's interesting. It's the interest.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of questions. It's probably summarised best with Rabid Bat saying, please ask MOVEMENT81 why and how their sound is so pristine. I mean, it is, actually. I don't know what you're doing. Is there anything clever you've got going on?
We listened to XY yesterday, not as clean as the other stuff we listened.
I think in comparison.
I think it's, I don't know.
We've got a bit of glitching going on. Hopefully you'll catch up in a second.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in comparison. Look, one of the challenges with a hardware jam is generally you've got lots of kit plugged into a mixing desk, and you don't have the production facility that you might have where you're compressing everything, or your EQ might be a little, like if you turn the treble up, it's probably the same treble across all the channels, and so therefore if things do squash together in the same frequencies, it's very difficult to carve out space for stuff. And one of the ways of getting over that is not to use too many sounds. Yeah. And in fact, today's modern pop productions are exactly that. They sound huge and loud because there's very, very little going on. So everything can be turned up loud. But it doesn't cross over quite often into people's jams. And there's something about the way yours comes across which sound more polished, I think, in general. That may be because there's a lot of modular, but even out of the modular, there's not that many outputs.
Yeah.
So in terms of, it looks like loads, but there's not that many voices coming out of it.
It's really hard because I just want to press all the buttons. I just want to turn everything on and use all the modules. And Jason's like, maybe just use one. Maybe just use one. I just fill the space. Yeah. Fill the space.
So I think that's some of it. There's not as many voices as it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Right.
really, I've only got...
His choice of sounds is very good then.
Yeah, so it's, and we use clouds quite a lot.
Yes.
To
That's my
just to create a
favourite.
lot of the kind of textures and stuff. So the mutable instruments, clouds, and beads as well now. So the two of them are used a lot to create those little noises and things in between things that kind of punctuate everything.
Yeah, it's just kind of rein it in, I guess. Learning to be more sparse with those things.
I'm totally the other way, and I have to work really hard to be minimal, because to me, I'd listen to something and then I'll go, it's missing something, I'll add it, and I'll just keep adding stuff, and then you lose focus of what the really important sound is. Whereas honestly, like the modern production is, it's back to that Rick Rubin thing of like only have 5 things going on at once, So if you've got a kick, a snare, so a kick, a hat, a clap, and a bass. So you've only got room for one other thing. So you either sing on it or you put, an instrument on it. But it's.
I think
one of those.
and jamming quickly as well helps that, because you haven't really got that. If you get in the hardware jams, you get the challenge on a Friday. We don't tend to work on it until Sunday, and so you haven't got loads of time to do loads of stuff, and so you end up doing less. I think that's what really helps. I mean, because I think I'd probably be the same. With enough time, you just listen and you add stuff in, don't you? And the same with everything. So
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
time constraint is quite helpful.
But there's nothing. Everything's plugged into a mixer somewhere, or is it going through the MPC that you've got?
So everything's plugged into a mixer. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 12, 16 channel mixer, Yamaha thing, and a Behringer UMC audio interface, which so we can
cool.
plug into so that
good.
we can stream really.
Right, so it just goes to show there's not like massive of compression and clever stuff going on. That's amazing.
We don't know how to do that.
No,
why? You don't need to. It sounds
do you know what? I've tried to understand compression. I've watched videos about it and read about it and stuff, and I think it's just, I don't know, I don't get it. I think a lot of what we do is, if it sounds okay, then it's okay.
Perfect, absolutely.
I think maybe
you don't.
I'm quite critical of.
Becky's really critical. So if there's a noise out of place, if there's a slight buzz on one of the inputs or something, then we have to do it again.
That's fine. No, that's fine. And you don't need to do that. I always worried slightly that if you're very creative, that you get bogged down in trying to work the technology to get your creativity into some kind of format. There's a reason why studios have engineers and producers produce and artists are artists and singers sing, and it is possible to go out and buy all the gear, set it all up at home, learn how to use it and do some really great stuff. But it's not, if it starts getting in the way of your creativity.
I think we're really fond of saying that there's a level where you can get good enough at something that you can be creative, just understanding enough about the equipment. When you go beyond that, then that
you're kind of a slave to the
so you get not too interested, but more interested in the technicalities rather than the output.
And I think that's the same for our practice.
Same for
as artists. If we don't know how to do something, we'll YouTube it and we'll get the idea out. It might not be the best, but it's just that way of working that allows you to kind of break the rules, because you don't know what they are. So that's sort of the way we operate.
Phenomenal. Okay, a couple more questions from the chat, and then we can get a bit geeky about your gear, which is also being asked about quite a lot. Let me just see some about your name. Oh, Sasquatch said, it's just for me, our holiday destination. That was going to be one of the quiz questions. So if anyone can guess where we were, you'll win a horn or something. Carry on.
We thought you might have gone to Portugal.
Actually, almost. It's owned by Portugal. I Sing the Body Electric. Thank you so much for the £10. I really appreciate it. Apologies for more damage to your nervous system. I know, it's all cool. It is a Portuguese territory.
Madeira.
Yes, very, very good.
Revision in Portuguese territories.
Mrs. Wiggly was actually born in Madeira, so she has a huge extended family of cousins and aunts and people that I'd never met before. So no, it's lovely. Really, really good. Really, really good. A question on video overlays from Grace Griffin. How do you achieve the video overlays when making hardware jam videos, etc.? Seems a little bit like chroma key, but I would be interested to know.
Yeah.
It varies, I think.
It depends what we do. So like this is just a green screen chroma key in OBS, and we usually record straight from OBS for hardware jams. Sometimes we'll put it into Adobe Premiere, and put some stuff on it. Generally not that much, because it's usually 10 o'clock at night on a Sunday. So it's
So tell me, what's a typical Monday for you?
Pretty quick, but in our other work. So something,
that makes
something
sense.
simple.
What's a typical Monday for you, just out of interest? In the day in the life of two artists, or Tuesday, or what's a typical day? I suppose
it's so varied. It's so varied.
Tomorrow we are.
Apart from Thursdays, because we teach on a Thursday. So
okay.
Each art and design, foundation art and design.
We lecture on a Thursday.
So tomorrow, what are we going to do tomorrow? We're looking at, Sensian was in the chat, we're looking at Move Sense sensors for a show that we've got coming up. So we are
brilliant.
Doing kind of a large scale film-based work where the participants, when they come into the space, they can pick up an object and they can move the object and they can change the visuals and the sound.
So we're writing
on kind of a large scale.
Yeah, so I think there's 4 5-minute films there are. So we're writing a soundtrack for each of those, and that soundtrack is you can change, the users or the people watching the film and listening to the soundtrack can change that soundtrack by moving the object.
Nice. Well, Sensian stuff is incredible.
Tomorrow, I think we got a couple of days. Well, more than a couple of days. We're working on that pretty much every day.
Wow. And how long would something like that take to put together from start to finish?
Sorry, we lost you then.
Sorry.
How long would something like that take to put together then?
So it's we start installing at the beginning of June. So we started the project tentatively probably 6 weeks ago. We were lucky enough to get some funding from the Arts Council maybe 2 weeks ago, and so now there's a period of R&D with the equipment, and then we start installing in June. Opens at the beginning of July and it runs for 6 weeks, I think.
Fabulous. And where's that going to be?
In a gallery called G39 in Cardiff. It's a contemporary art gallery just in the centre of Cardiff.
Yeah. So we're also, this week then, the other thing that we're working on is like a 40-minute set, an AV set.
Oh yeah.
Forgot about that. So that's going to be at the end of May.
For what, did you say, for Carnival?
No.
It's in Cardiff as well.
Okay.
And that is in a gallery, a different gallery. It's like an old church.
But it's an AV set. So we have to. So we got the tracks that we're playing, and we just got to sort all the videos out and all of the kind of all the links to that, so that we can change the visuals as we play. So it's
so MIDI linking the visuals. And making the videos.
Wow.
And as well, so I think maybe nearly all of the tracks we're going to play are based on hardware jams. So things that we've come up with in that.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
That's really, really good. Nicely linked together.
Yeah.
A couple of questions of people who weren't around at the start. So Stephen Freeman saying, is it your main job or something that you do on the side? Also, someone else asked that. Rocknets on YouTube asked that. Stephen Freeman was on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, it's worthwhile popping over to the YouTube, because that's where most of the chats hang out. But you're very welcome. We can see your chats. Just search Mr. Wiggly on YouTube and you can come and find us. Don't forget to bang a like on the video as well if you like this. I mean, to answer that, you're full-time art.
Yeah. Full-time art. So I mean, so the answer to the music thing is a bit complicated, because
I guess it's
so like on Monday we'll be getting paid to write some music to go with the films that we're doing, and being paid to make the films and to do that stuff. And then today, for what we're doing, you know, is just for hardware jams for tomorrow. So it's I think I said earlier, it's like a lot of arts-based careers. You kind of muddle yourself through a living somehow from lots and lots of different places. So yeah, I
guess you're just kind of like full-time creative practitioners, I suppose, and you don't really ever stop working, so it's really difficult to separate kind of the Monday, Tuesday from the weekend. It all sort of, it's all one thing really.
I've often found I'm not so much full-time artist space, but I think in general, if you do something, it quite often leads to other things. It's the doing that you need to be doing, you know. So like you said, so a lot of this is now being based on stuff you put together for some hardware jams. Well, that's just a beautiful kind of leading thing, you know. I feel the same sometimes about technology. I'll go and have a look at a bit of technology that I have absolutely no need for, and then something will happen, or I go, oh, I could use that on that track, or I could, you know, use it in an app, or, you know, it's that you just have to do it. You have to be out there in order to.
It's a process of osmosis, really. You have to just like kind of soak it all in, don't you? And then at some point it'll come out somewhere, but you have to be aware of it.
Exactly.
So that you can
you got to soak it up. You got to soak it up.
I think some of the Twitch streams that we've done, and using OBS and using the kind of the snap lenses for filters, that then feeds into something that we're working on that's for a gallery. So kind of the films that we're making, you know, it all kind of merges into one.
Nice. Grace again asking, any plans for wider UK or international exhibiting or stuff for the stuff you're putting together in Cardiff?
Yeah, possibly. We don't know the answer to that, I guess. There's nothing in the pipeline, but that isn't to say that there won't be. So it just, I
guess you have to see how it goes, really. And how
see how it goes. See how it goes. I'm not really sure. Be nice to. It would be nice to. But yeah, not sure yet.
Steve Elbows, what sort of software and tools do you use for the video installation and the triggering and so forth? Yeah,
so we use Resolume Arena for the videos, and we trigger the MIDI triggers to that. Well, I'm from the MPC and from Ableton as well. So we've either got a track, like a blank track, or just a MIDI track running in Ableton that'll trigger videos at certain points in each track. Or we're sending MIDI data manually from the MPC usually, rather than having it programmed in and making stuff.
So we made this MIDI controller the other day.
Nice.
So that's kind of linked to what we're working on in the gallery space. So we're making kind of a table where people can select.
Yeah, Resolume on the whole. For live visuals, Resolume.
Is that like an Arduino-based controller that you've got set in there?
Nice.
That one.
Isn't it brilliant? You can do that kind of stuff now.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Incredible,
so
isn't it?
Part of the thing in Cardiff will be a table that will allow some control with an Arduino to the visuals, as well as the objects that they can pick up. So yeah, it's great to be able to, all those tools are, you know, they're available. They're relatively straightforward, aren't they? And it's very powerful.
I couldn't justify Resolume as a plaything, but I did get synesthesia. I don't know if you've come across it. It's a cheap. It has audio trigger to a thing, so it's like a poor man's Resolume.
I mean, we wouldn't have bought Resolume, but we got some funding to buy it. So I mean, that's one of the benefits, I guess, that we are quite. Most of our living essentially comes from applying for funding for stuff. I mean, it's a brilliant tool for your doing. Absolutely, it's what you need. I mean, it's a game changer for us, really, because we were using cobbling together stuff really before that, but Resolume has changed a lot of things.
And it allows you to map visuals to a certain space as well, so it's not just kind of a straight
the arena one. You can video walls, and you can have different right. Nice. Oh wow.
So one of the other things sometimes we get asked to do is kind of tech work on other people's installations. So if they're projecting, then they need help to kind of fit the video to a space, then we've got the software that
how cool. So you're almost consulting a little bit. That's a bit of revenue coming in. Wow, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Can we get a little bit geeky about the kit that you stream with? because I know there's a lot of people. So having let me just pull back to that previous video. Let's just pop this back up a second. So all I've had to go on so far is this.
So I mean,
so what's happening?
Okay, so essentially, I'm on the MPC, and I control I got a Moog Mother 32, and well, for a long time I just had a Mother 32 over here. So that's controlled from the MPC through MIDI, and a Neutron that's MPC controlled as well. In my set, I've also got. I've not long bought some of the Behringer System 100 stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I've got a few of them, and they are pretty good, and they're really cheap. But I'm not using them quite so much because, like everything now, I've had to buy myself another VCA for this side. So it's kind of like you think you've done it, then you think you've got the stuff, and you think you're all ready to go. Oh, I got to buy something else. So that's over here. What else have I got here? I got like a linear VCA and a warps, which I never use. I never really got on with warps, but it's still there. So all of that.
So you're actually you're more modular than I imagined, actually. So it's MPC. I kind of in my head I thought you'd be synth on the left and modulars on the right, but it's MPC driving.
Yeah,
a couple of
the
synths
MPC's driving.
Yeah.
So I mean, the MPC mostly does on most tracks actually is probably just doing the drums, and maybe some pads, because getting decent pads out of the actually it's not getting decent pads out of the modulars is a nightmare. But it, like I said, there's not that many voices in it. And so they're kind of used up really. So there's usually drums and pads on the MPC and not much else. If there is, little bits and pieces, and that's kind of it. You want to talk about your side?
Just one more module.
One more module. There's always one more module.
I got a little space. I got a little space.
Do you know what? When we started, I swear, we said, I'm going to buy one row, and I'm not buying any more.
It doesn't happen, does it?
It just doesn't happen. No. So yeah, we talk about your side.
It's crack, isn't it? Really.
Oh, and that's so. It's a fairly recent acquisition. So we've got an Expert Sleeper ZS3.
Yeah, we haven't used that.
We don't use it that much, and that's mainly because the digital cable thing in the back of the UMC is rubbish, and it keeps falling out.
Yeah.
But that will take optical cable into the ES3, so we can send
extra LFOs.
Yeah, so we can send MIDI data from Ableton to the modular.
That was my game-changing moment. Actually, I've got an ES9, and which is basically if you a lot of people don't follow modular, it doesn't matter in the chat. It's just basically an audio interface into a module. But what you can do is you can send control voltages as well as audio.
It goes both ways. Yeah.
You can send LFO data and stuff into it. So instead of having to buy a rack of 4 LFOs, you can just use 4 outputs and make them LFOs from within Ableton. So
the LFO from Ableton to that, because it's so easy to keep it in time and so without loads of patching, it's just really, really simple thing to do, and it works really well for stuff like that. So like I say, we don't use it loads because the digital cable plug in the back of the UMC is absolutely rubbish. It's the one. All the rest of it is great, but that one plug is a nightmare. Yeah. So anyway,
So on this side, then I've got plats and clouds and beads, which are mutable instruments modules, which kind of plats is an oscillator with a load of oscillators in it. I don't know how many there are. 1, 2, 3. 8, 16. So 8 of them are kind of drum based and 8 of them are voices. Yeah, and then clouds, which creates the texture. So that's kind of my favourite thing to do, I guess. Is put the kind of the little textures that kind of give the tracks another layer, I guess. So beads is a sort of a new version of clouds, which I'm trying to get my head around, which is way more powerful. So we've used that a couple of times, but really kind of excited about getting to know that.
So what we often do is to take one of the sequences, and just run it and freeze it in clouds.
Yeah.
And then just you use the grains from that and
Yeah.
little noises here and there.
Yeah, so a lot of the modules then are kind of utility modules, like the Zaladic 4-step sequencer, which then goes into the position or the vote per octave of clouds and kind of just adds a bit of variation. And then Braids is another oscillator, and then the Metropolis, which is just like the magic machine. Exactly, yeah. That.
I really wasn't expecting that. Excuse me.
The Metropolis is amazing. It's basically whatever you do to it, it sounds good.
No, what is Metropolis? Oh, the IntelliGel thing.
The IntelliGel
Okay.
Metropolis, the little
Wow.
the
The sequencer thing. Will Joseph, sorry, can I just say a massive thank you to Will with a question for you, but thank you so much for the donation. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Love to you all. Interrupting question for M81, which of course you do if you donate. Do you try to express certain feelings through your art so that the observers, listeners will experience the same feelings? In other words, what's your criteria for a successful event? Oh man, that's deep.
Okay, so kind of is the answer to that. So we write, and I think maybe this is something that we do in the music as well, and it's just what we do. We tend to write stories, I guess, so kind of like beginnings, middles and ends of stuff, and we'll do the same when we do the set now. So we've got a 40-minute set, and we'll do the same kind of thing with that, with the visuals as well, and with the films and whatever artwork we're doing. So we have an idea of why we're making it, and we have an idea of what we think people might get from it, but that's not to say that they necessarily do. So
we have a narrative, I guess.
Yeah, we have a narrative, but it may change. It's different for different people. So in like it's what they bring to it.
Yeah.
Really. So people will experience it in different ways depending on their lives and their backgrounds, and that's fine. So it's we like to make work that's open ended enough that can happen.
I think it's generally a kind of a reflection of society, as a really kind of vague explanation. Yeah.
No, I think that's a great answer. I was just thank you very much for that, and for Will for your donation. Thank you. I'm just looking at this Metropolis thing. I didn't know about it. It looks ace.
Magic. It's magic. It is. I mean, I'd love. There's a new one, the Metropolis, which I would quite like, but it's expensive.
Okay.
I think you can.
Oh, that's a proper glitch.
Save stuff into.
Yeah, you can save.
I guess you could if you spent like an hour trying to find the same notes. But
generally,
you can get it.
Wow.
Sorted.
But honestly, it's there's so many variations for essentially 8 steps. You've got 8 steps, but you put in so many variations in it, and you just fiddle around with you can ratchet each one up to 8 steps and have them playing long or short and gaps and slides and random, and it always manages to sound good. I mean, it's pretty good. Just set the scale you want it in and let it go.
Try to replicate what it's doing on the beat step. So try to recreate that sequence so that we can save it, and it just can't do it. It can't do it.
Gotcha.
Well, I can't make it do it anyway, so maybe it can be done.
Yeah, you're fighting the losing battle anyway to try and copy stuff like that, to be honest. But wow. Did you hear? I would say it's a sad news, but it's obviously a change in direction of the mutable instruments. Obviously no more. Obviously you're massive mutable users over there. I kind of feel a bit sad about that, but hopefully I have a feeling it may be for negative reasons, I think, which is unfortunate. So hopefully it's not the end. It won't be the first time that mutable have kind of stopped. But that's a real shame. Steve Powell is an interesting question. What are your headphones of choice when recording, jamming, streaming, etc.?
What are your headphones of choice?
We are looking to buy new headphones. Our headphones are
of choice. Well, I have my collection just behind me.
They're cheap. They're like
I think they're £12. The ones we're using now. So if we really, if we really want to.
Is that why the bass came out the left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean,
Phones, because we are looking to buy.
Yeah, we are looking to buy new headphones, but these have been really good. And actually, I've broken a couple of pairs, so I was glad that they weren't really expensive.
Yeah. You can spend a lot on that kind of stuff, but
but I think more and more it's becoming apparent that we probably need better headphones.
Yeah, well, we're looking at headphones and we're like, oh, that's really quite expensive. And then we're looking at the modules. If you combine the price of all the modules, and the head doesn't make any sense to not spend money on the head.
No. If you're working a lot of time on them, I mean, Grace is another one with it was talking about when you get some in-ear molds made at that kind of level, which can be amazing actually. I mean, it's almost, well, like you say, the cost of a module, it's probably worth it. And if you get them where you can literally change the cable, I mean, these are those Shure ones. They're quite expensive, but they are really good. And the thing that breaks will be the cable. I can just get a new cable for it, but they're not.
So it's an interesting question, because that is really, we have been looking for the last week or so.
Yeah, so any recommendations, gratefully received.
Oh, all right, over to chat. Any more questions from chat would be really, really useful. I would like to know kind of, there was, I can't claim pure ownership of this question, but it was like, what gear are you looking at next to expand your setup outside of headphones, I guess? That's from Wagyu originally. What's on the list?
Oh man, too much really. I mean, I've just bought another VCA, another Musical Instruments VCA. I mean, it's nuts really. I've just bought it second hand, and it's like 20 quid cheaper than a brand new one.
Yeah,
they hold their value so well. It's absolutely crazy.
Especially now.
I'm forever looking at the Electron stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of, and I don't know. I nearly bought one instead of the MPC, but I've got used to the MPC. But I think at some point I'll probably get a Digitone. I think. Maybe.
Okay.
It's the menu for me, and just like I struggle enough
I mean, that
with
is,
the
to be honest,
with the
that does
step.
put me off a little bit, but.
I like the buttons and the knobs to tell you what they're for, and that's the only job they've got, and that's what they do. The beat step, having kind of the pads that are for 3 different things, that's enough, I think.
There's not that much space left in these 2 cases either, and so anything now is going to be really needed, because I'm not buying another case.
I think a quantizer maybe, like we have got a Ladik Quant, but it's not amazing. It's good, like it does do a good job, but for the price, I think. So yeah, maybe invest in a better Quant.
Okay, Grace is saying get in touch.
Or auto-tune.
Yeah, Grace.
Auto-tune. Right. Grace is saying get in touch.
Auto-tune for my Quants.
Get in touch because some of the molds are not as pricey as they once were.
Okay.
And obviously she's got a few contacts in that realm. Olmore's saying, have you got any digital modules in your setup?
So Braids is digital.
Yeah.
It's not analog. Plats is digital.
MPC is the only kind of sampling thing, right?
Yeah, so clouds and sorry, broke up a bit.
That's all right. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Plats, but everything else is analog, I think.
Cool. And I guess, it's 20 to 9 already. Hello, 10 Mil. Thanks for joining. I guess we kind of usually sort of towards the end, the question is, what does the future hold? I mean, your future sounds busy and hopefully kind of heading in the right direction, certainly at the moment. I mean, what would you like to look back on in, say, 5 years' time?
Oh, man.
I think just a larger kind of AV, like an AV show that is maybe with a bigger audience.
I think we're really keen to do it here as well. I think we've been to a few things, and it's travel to London to see stuff, and so it'd be quite nice to be able to put on bigger AV events closer to home. Because we don't want to travel London all the time, but also because it's people are missing out a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, apart from that, I don't know.
Cool. Well, that sounds great. You're glitching a little bit.
It's fine all day.
No, it's all right. It's okay. I mean, we got the main bits of it. I think obviously someone's kind of uploading a massive kind of backup of their entire company next door. It being kind of Sunday, but never mind. No, that's really good. That's really, really good. Thank you so much. I will stick a link underneath here to all of your stuff. But basically, if you Google Movement81 without a space, you can get like a link tree of all their stuff, the Instas, the TikToks. Check out Hardware Jams if you're not already a member on Facebook. Just search Hardware Jams on Facebook. You'll find them there. And Twitch, I guess. Are you still busy on Twitch? I haven't been looking at you on the Twitch stream, actually.
Busy-ish. We try to stream every week. And tried to do it on a Wednesday. It's really, I mean, that's one of the other things with so many people. The community is brilliant, isn't it? And so many people are streaming at different times, and it's trying to keep it. You don't want to stream at the same time as someone else, and you want to make sure that you try and support people and that they support you. So we try to stream on a Wednesday when we can on Twitch. Seems to be a fairly quiet night certainly for Hardware Jammers streaming. So I think we've managed to do every week for the last few weeks. But it's difficult. And you have to put in you have to put in the the schedule in Twitch when you're going to stream, and it's like
that's a full-time job to really do it properly.
It is. So we try and do it every Wednesday. So I mean, it's fun. We quite enjoy it. It's quite same as everything. It's a good community.
Yeah, it's quite chilled, and you have a nice chat going. So it's fun to do.
You've just your internet connection has just gone. Yes, here we go. We can see you in full definition. It's just crazy good. That's fantastic. Yeah, that's what they really look like. There you go.
That's weird.
Yes, 10 mil. They are a couple. 10 mil just joined me some of the earlier questions. What about collaborations and stuff coming up? Are you looking to work with anyone, or on production side, or on the artist side, or?
I mean, I'd happily work with someone who
knows what they're doing with sound.
Who could master some stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, collaborating, I don't know. We're often collaborating with people artistically. We do that quite a lot. So I dare say that will happen. We're doing some, like last week we were working with a computer scientist on some AI stuff for videos and things. So there's lots of that going on. Whether it will lead anywhere, I don't know, but we're kind of doing that a fair bit. Sound-wise, not so much really, but I think if
we would though, like if there was a chance to work with somebody.
We just need to do a bit more really to make it. Get a few more tracks sorted out and actually recorded properly.
It's quite daunting, isn't it? Like people that actually know what they're doing. Yeah.
I go back to the kind of like the engineer in the studio. I mean, they enhance. Yeah. They work for you, don't they?
I think I'd be intrigued actually to see how that works. How where they take a track. So if we could do that at some point, I think that would be really interesting.
Yeah.
I would definitely be up for that. That would be good fun.
Cool. All right. Well, everyone can get in touch or whatever. Stay tuned to follow what you're doing. I've got a couple of things left on the list. I've just remembered. We had a crazy message from Halibut Hoffman about Mark Gardner's getting a tattoo of Side Trance for Life. Okay, so this is a bit of an in-joke, but if you're in the kind of URL, Unsigned Review Live, Clownfest type of environment, they kind of decided that they didn't like Psytrance. They called it Side Trance. And if enough people vote or something, Mark is going to get a Psytrance for Life tattoo. There is now a GoFundMe for that. So there is a link. Probably doesn't need the slash on the end. I promise to put the link out there. So enjoy, get out there, and let's get Mark to have a Psytrance for Life tattoo. I think they're probably only a few pounds. However, if you want to spend your pennies on Great Ormond Street Hospital, I think that's a mighty thing to do, so thank you for that. Obviously, I'm not endorsing side trance tattoos for Mark, but I did say I would raise the profile a little bit. Other than that, I'm just checking the list of important things to announce. If you fancy coming on the show and talking to me, just let me know. Pop us a note on YouTube or hit me up on Twitter, which is at Real Mr. Wiggly, or anywhere really. If you Google Mr. Wiggly, there's normally a way that will come up that you can get in contact with me, because we just like talking to different people. You don't have to be famous. You must have loads of synths or whatever. Just be really interested in knowing what you're doing, and how you do it. And I think everyone kind of benefits from knowing that, as our amazing guests have just kind of shown us. It just sounds epic, but they don't know what they're doing, which I doubt that, but they know enough, definitely. Homegrown, thank you so much for the £10. Great show. Looking forward to hearing more Movement 81. Definitely look them up.
Thank you.
Yeah, honestly, absolutely amazing. You're not going to move to London, are you? You'd far rather London came to you.
Yeah,
You must have thought about
I
it.
don't know.
might
Well, you never know.
spend a bit of time in London,
See, I've
actually.
just said all of that.
Yeah.
Now, my son lives in London. And
Okay.
So, and he moved there, and he's gone to university there. So he went there in September. So I've been up to see him a few times and started thinking, well, actually, maybe it's not such a bad idea. So I probably not, but you never know.
We're not fixed in terms of kind of where we stay, so
Right.
maybe we could. There's a possibility that we could.
It'd be great to see some more stuff outside of Ireland, outside of Wales, rather. Sorry. Just because lots of people, more people would go and see it. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. We've never really gone out looking for gigs either. So maybe that's what you were saying about what does the future hold. I mean, maybe that's something that we might do, is to actually start looking for opportunities to play live rather than waiting to be asked.
Yeah.
I think
That's cool.
might be a plan.
Excellent. Well, that's
Just
a
think of that.
a good way to leave it. Thank you so much. We've only scratched the surface, really. I think it maybe kind of revisit in a few months' time and have another chat
that would be
about
good.
what's been going on since then. How after your next show, after the installation has gone, and we can see a little bit more about what's going on.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that we might be able to live stream some of that, and certainly maybe live stream some of the installation work and stuff like that, so the behind the scenes kind of stuff. So
that would be brilliant. That would be brilliant.
Hopefully, some of the tech and the way that it's put together, we can share some of that with.
Excellent.
With everyone. So
Sensient stuff is brilliant.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've played with it yet.
Sensing's put onto a lot of stuff, so we are.
Yeah, we're using Hollanist,
Great.
with the Move Sense, and into Ableton then, and
Brilliant.
Resolume. So
Brilliant.
that
If
all
anyone
works
else in the
really
chat
well.
hasn't come across it, Sensient, who I think is still in the chat, has this thing called Hollanist, and a whole array of kind of technology that links movement and triggers from the internet to producing sound. So a classic example would be hanging up an iPhone in a tree, and it would be playing wind chimes when it's blowing around in the wind, that kind of stuff. But it goes way deeper than that. You can have it generate ambient music based around the weather report, or background radiation, or whatever it might be. All sorts of crazy stuff. So it's really, really good, and he's a big part of the community. So go check him out. It's an amazing iPhone app. Just search Hollanist, and you can just play with it on your iPhone. Cool. All right. Well, look, thank you so much for spending so much time with us. I really, really appreciate it. It's just
Thank
great
you for having us.
to be able to find out a little bit more about you. Oh no, don't worry about that. I mean, we've kind of gone from knowing that to knowing everything about the kit that's in front of you, to to you guys what your plans are and everything, which is exactly what I wanted to do. So, there's Sensient. So, get there. So lovely to see you. Thanks so much to everyone in the chat for being there. Same time next week. Please click a like. If you don't subscribe and you'd like to, and get a reminder of our Sunday shows, please click the subscribe button as well. Be great to have you there. But likes are good for the algorithm apparently, so that's kind of cool. And subscriptions are shooting up, so that's really cool as well. We will see you next Sunday. Hopefully over the next 2 or 3 weeks there'll be some non-live video content going up. I say it now because it might actually kind of force me to actually get something done. You never know, but certainly that's the plan over the next few months to get some reviews and some stuff and some live stuff going on, inspired by Movement81, obviously. So that's cool. All right, same time next week. Thanks, guys, and yeah, good luck.
Thanks,
good luck for the
everyone.
installation
so
and
much.
over the next week.
All right.
Take it easy.
Cheers.
Thanks
See
a
you.
lot.
Bye.
Urbanist connect so with the herb mic. Link up the harmonized left the termite. But beyond obsolete blessings are birthright. We live a life which a lot for me no side worldwide. Cosmic love energy I go herbicide free organically. Me say worthwhile. Watch the way one of you change her points in terms of definitions and some termites. Get sidecheck the eye. One side is defined by one side the other. I.e. I am an ideas man. I assign too much of the qualities of my child. Who's way up talking like there's two of me? One is a construct, one is a creativity. The supreme one, all encompassing information in and of itself, most definitely. Another life infinitely, most life infinitely. Beyond the scripture, niceness can be. Blessed be. I continually miss her. Pick up a being as the infinity.